Out to you, and let's go ahead with your reading. First of all, one of the main message I'm getting here is that I feel like this is a big month for you in terms of emotional maturation, okay? Like the whole process of growing up, developing ourselves emotionally, learning to put ourselves in other people's shoes, and learning to also take a little bit more risk and take more opportunities, take chances as they come in for you. So I feel like you're not going to be on the sidelines nibbling at your life, watching your life go by. I do feel that that has been a situation that a lot of you were contending with in the past, especially within the past few months. And you're taking more of a proactive stance, more, I guess, like being on the up and ready just for new opportunities and to grab new opportunities as they come filtering in. What I feel for some of you is that I feel there is a situation where you sat on the sidelines a little bit too long. You waited a little bit too long when you should have like spoken out, when you should have reached out, when you should have like gone with and trusted your instinct to go with an opportunity. As a result of waiting too long, I feel like you had a missed opportunity to do something. I do feel if that's the case, the opportunity itself is coming back around, and it's really important for you as well to seize the day and make the most of it. Okay, so don't wait on the sidelines of life too long. I do feel that a lot of you have learned from this past error in the past and you are moving ahead with I feel like you're almost like up and ready and waiting for the opportunity to return or something similar to it to come back to you so that you can make a move. Okay, and I feel for a lot of you it can play out in terms of interpersonal relationships, like being a little bit too shy and not pursuing something or somebody that you would actually be very beneficial for you. A new job situation that you feel like, oh, it's going to take me far away, or I don't feel like I have enough skills in order to do that properly. So I feel like there's this hesitation mainly because you are doubting your skills and you're doubting your capabilities to perform the job well or to be with a specific person or to be in a specific situation. So I feel that that sense of self-doubt is going to be laid to rest or to be left behind as you move forward, as you venture out. Okay, what I'm feeling in terms of love is that for a lot of you there might have been like a misconnection with somebody because of the whole process of waiting. Okay, you were either too afraid, too shy, too hesitant, and you may have taken too long to reach out to a person. And I feel for some of you this might have been somebody that you might have had a relationship with in the past. You wanted to reconnect with them. You waited too long, and I feel like a lot of they might have moved on. Okay, they might have moved on to another person, and I feel that for a lot of you, it does sting a little bit, but you have learned adequately from that, and you are either hoping to re-engage with them again this month and to say whatever you need to say, to let off your chest whatever has been weighing heavily on your mind, and then I feel like you're not going to make the same mistake again in the future. For others of you, there might be a situation where timing was a little bit off between you and another person. So it could be, they came to you and you weren't ready. And now that you're ready, you come to them and they're with somebody else. So I feel like a lot of misconnections, a lot of missed opportunities as well. What I'm feeling is for others of you, especially, I feel like there might have been choices in the past, many options. They're being dwindled down or whittled down to two main priorities, two main people, two main opportunities. And this can play out either in work projects or romantic prospects as well. You're whittling down your choices to two options. And I feel like the whole process of trying to decide between, who it is that you want, on the one hand, you have somebody that really lights up your world, is the message I'm getting. And then on the other hand, you have somebody who's very new, very exciting, very charismatic, very beautiful. And I feel like, beauty is all subjective and whatever, but the whole point here is that you might have two people that are very different from one another. And I feel like you're stuck in the middle, not being able to make a choice. So once again, going through this month, it is a major, I feel some major energies here that indicates to me an emotional maturation process. And I feel like the way that this month is going to play out is not in the same, it's going to be a little bit unexpected. There will be elements of surprise coming through for a lot of you, and I don't feel like they're bad surprises either. What I do feel is that for a lot of you, you feel that, maturation is all about knowing what to do all the time. Well, it's not exactly that, but I feel like the maturation process that you're going to encounter for this month is not so much about, knowing how to make decisions and being firm with our resolve and feeling confident that we made the right decision, but the maturation process concerns other people, and it might play out in a way where emotional maturity means detaching ourselves from a situation to let the other person live their life, pursue their goals, even though we might not agree with them. Or it's, learning to love somebody, I feel. It's more about, knowing when to let go of someone and wanting the best for them, wanting them to be happy, even though they're not with us. Okay, so that's something to consider. And I feel like our ability to truly love somebody unconditionally and knowing when to let go, even if, deep down in your heart, you feel like you're fated to be with them. You feel like you can make them really happy, but if they're meant for somebody else, you are going to have to abide by that higher wisdom, higher truth. And you're also going to cast your ego aside in order to accept whatever it is that the other person has decided for themselves, okay? So let's go into your reading, Cancers. So first of all, we're looking at the Sun and the Princess of Cups. So let's talk about the Sun energy first. This is coming through very strongly because we are transitioning into a fire sign, which is indicative of the Sun energy. It's representative of like the ego, the ambition, the public image that we project out into the world, and it also indicates material worldly success that can bring a lot of happiness, joy, and contentment. It is a very, very good card, and it's coming up coupled with the Page of Cups, which indicates to me there is an offer on the table for you, okay? In the past, this might have been something that you were 100%, waiting on. This is something that would have made a huge difference in your world. I definitely feel somebody's coming in with an offer, with a proposal, and I feel like the Page of Cups energy is a more reciprocity. It's a card that indicates reciprocity somehow. So it means that two people that could have, admiration for each other, they might have crushes on each other, they might have the same mutual receptive feelings towards one another, and they're coming together possibly as a offer for a date, offer for friendship, offer to get to know somebody better. Both of these cards indicate to me very, very childlike energies. It can indicate naivety. It can also indicate a situation where you don't think about the consequences. You just kind of like jump right in, okay? So we are transitioning into the sign of Leo, and I do feel that for a lot of you, there's this rush of energy, of emotions, where you feel like whatever I'm feeling, I need to tell the world. Whoever it is that I like, I feel like I need to step out of my comfort zone and really, really tell them how I feel. And this grab life by the horns type of an energy is something that I feel it's more of a fire energy. So I want you to be a little bit careful and take a step back a little bit, because I feel like under normal circumstances, this is not you, this is not how you operate. But you're getting a lot of bursts of confidence in yourself, in your station, in your work, in your job situation that can really be self-esteem boosting, which is a great way to handle it. But once again, keep in mind, the Princess of Cups, this is the Page of Cups. It's a very, very young energy. So you want to understand as well, if you are making an offer to another person, you want to make sure they are not attached. You want to make sure that it's not going to burden them in any way. They might be in another relationship, or they might be, a colleague or something linked up in with your professional image, which might indicate they could be in the same workplace. So be very mindful about who it is that you're making a proposal to. On the other hand, what I feel is if a proposal is made to you, I do feel this is somebody that has been admiring you from afar, is what I'm feeling. They see that you are somebody who is potentially larger than life. Okay, so already there's this sense of idealism. idolizing somebody and admiring somebody from afar, and projecting this greater than, larger than life persona to this person that you like, or they are doing the same to you. So I definitely feel that the realistic expectations have to be brought back down to earth, so that both sides are not approaching each other as projections of what they want, but rather what they want from another person, but rather approaching this in a more objective manner, okay? Seeing the person for what they are versus what you wish for them to be. Because I see a lot of mirroring energy. I see also a lot of opposition here. This is water, this is fire. It indicates a situation where opposites attract, but it doesn't denote longevity. It doesn't denote compatibility right off the bat. But both of these cards are very, very good energies, which indicates that, you know, you are getting invitations, you are getting offers for friendship, for going out, for socializing, and it's going to make you feel quite happy. It's going to make you feel loved, wanted, needed, and all of these things that will really, really help with self-validation, will really boost your self-esteem. And I just want you to be careful as well, not to, you know, overextend yourself when it comes to social engagement, and take some time to spend either alone or, you know, being with people that actually matter to you. So it's more about quality over quantity, okay? So don't overextend yourself when it comes to social engagements where you don't really necessarily want to be there. So just be careful about that. The second cluster here deals with your communication. We have the Princess of Swords as well as the Four of Swords. And let's talk about the Princess of Swords first. This is the Page of Swords. This deals with communication, messages that you are waiting on. And I do feel that the message might bring with it a little bit of a disappointment. It might bring with it unexpected news, unexpected circumstances that you were not anticipating, okay? So for those of you who are dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, and a Libra, sun, moon, or rising, and I feel like this is a very innocent type of energy that you're dealing with, someone who's very nonchalant. They might have might have issues with commitment. They might have issues about, you know, like finding a sense of life direction. So I feel like there's a kind of like everything is pretty much up in the air with this person. Since you first met them, everything was pretty much like based on their whims, their fancy. And I don't feel it's a bad energy, but I do feel that it is somebody who is very much a free spirit, who is like here today, gone tomorrow. They don't have the sustaining power, and they might not stay around. And if you're waiting on communication from this person, there might be a little bit of misunderstandings. There might be like, you know, you're sending out messages and it takes a while for them to respond to you, or there might be missing communication, or just some snags along the road in the process of communicating with this person. So you might be getting news from this person, or you might be waiting on news from this person. If you're waiting on news from this person, I do feel that they're going to take their sweet time to respond, not because they're doing it on purpose, not because they're vindictive, but mainly because they've got a lot of things going on in their life. And one of the main things I see with the Page of Swords is they're kind of like at cross purposes with themselves. You know, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's one person with their sword up, but they're looking in a different direction. So it's someone who is a little bit less experienced. They're trying to figure things out. They're trying to figure out a life direction. And it seems like they might be inundated with a lot of mental energy where they're overthinking things. And they're also like conflict avoidant as well. So I feel like they might not necessarily be... They might not like say things the way that they mean, or they might not say what they mean, or they might not, you know, express themselves in a very clear, concise, and thorough manner. So they might not be prone to over explaining certain situations. They leave things a little bit vague and undefined, and that's just the nature of this Page of Swords. So if it's communication where you feel like, oh, that was really confusing, I don't really know what they're getting at, and I don't really know what they expect from me, it is important to over explain if you need to, because sometimes they just need to they tend to read between the lines a little bit too much. So it's in your best interest to try to over explain if you need to, and don't shy away from, social niceties. If something is really bothering you with this person, tell them to explain themselves, because I feel like they might not have had to do it in the past, so they don't feel the need to over explain. Okay, so in order to alleviate the communication problems, if that's something that's happening, or in order to clear up the air with this person, it is really important for you to reach out. What I'm also feeling is, for others of you who might have dealt with this person in the past, I do feel if you are sending out messages, if you are sending out communication their way, there's some type of a blockage here where they might deliberately just shut down that avenue of communication. It doesn't mean that it's there forever. I feel that they have received your messages, they're thinking about it, and they're trying to find a way to respond to this situation in a manner that is not going to be hurtful to you, or that's not, they're a little bit cautious as well. So I definitely feel something like that coming through here with communication front with an air sign. Okay, in terms of your family situation, let's look at the Hierophant and the Ten of Wands. So first of all, the Hierophant indicates with tradition, structure. It indicates hierarchy, and it also indicates some type of traditional situation. And usually when I look at the Hierophant, I think about marriage, and I think about the family unit first of all. I do feel that for those of you who are there might be news communication. First of all, there's some news communication regarding potentially somebody who is feeling under the weather, who might need some type of financial assistance, and possibly a member of the family, somebody that you consider a person within your family. So you could live with someone for a really long time, and they might not have blood ties to you, but you consider them your family. So family of adoption or family of blood family. So I definitely feel like there might be some communication coming through from family members, and they might be feeling under the weather. They might need some financial assistance, either moving, fixing up their home. There's something here dealing with property as well. There might be papers, contracts that you need to sign or co-sign for somebody. There might be like responsibilities or things that you have to take care of on the family front. Okay, especially for those of you who are dealing with like single parent situation, where your own father is somewhere else, your own mother is somewhere else, and I feel like because both of them are living alone, or they're in situations where they don't have one another, they might need your help with certain things around the house. I do feel there's some element here of somebody feeling under the weather, and as a result, a family member might have to step in to take care of them, or you might be stepping into the picture to take care of the family, either physically taking care of them, like watching over them, or helping out financially, or doing whatever you can, run errands for them, or helping them fixing some things because they're under the weather and they can't really muster up that physical strength in order to do it. Okay. A lot of you might have some communication coming through from family members, and there seems to be a lot of expectations coming through from other people to you. I do feel on the work front, management, the supervisor, the manager, or something like that, there's a lot of responsibilities imposed upon you as well. And at the same time, there's a lot of restrictions coming through from family unit. So I definitely feel this is playing out in the work environment, especially for those of you working in a bigger institution, bigger company, bigger organizations, especially those that are linked up with the government in some capacity. I definitely feel increased workload, increased responsibilities. Okay, and at the same time, it might be, it's interesting, I'm just getting this now. A lot of you might be looking for new work assignments, like reassignments. A lot of you might have applied for it within the past few months, and you're in a position where you're getting communications, and they might ask you to transfer to a different location, and you're grabbing all your things, and I feel like you're doing it in a very, very swift manner. So I definitely feel some type of mandate coming in, either from some structure work environment, some mandate coming in from the family unit where they're asking you to physically relocate yourself, or there's some responsibilities that they need you to take over in a different area from where you are geographically. So I definitely see movement and things like that happening in this cluster, which indicates that somebody is giving like a command from the top down. It's like some top down type of command system where you might have to, at a moment's notice, pick up your things and move to a different location, okay? Especially for those of you working in a government or contract capacity. The last cluster that we're dealing with here is the Prince of Cups and the World. So the world, first of all, indicates expansion in your geographical location, expansion in opportunities that are coming through for you, and it's overall a very, very positive card. It's linked up with the Prince of Cups, which indicates emotional offers, okay? So this is like you either reaching out to a person, and I feel like there might be an element of geographical distance between the two of you. And I'm going back to the initial message where I feel like for whatever reason you wanted to make an offer to a specific person in your life. I feel like whoever it is that you've got your eyes on, they are very, very attractive. And once again, beauty is very subjective. So, that's not the whole selling point about this person. I feel like they are very educated. They're very worldly based on the world card. They might be very well traveled. They might be culturally very different from you. So different cultural, linguistic, ethnic background. A lot of you are contemplating a major trip overseas as well, because the world does indicate expansion in your geographical location, which is traditionally, traveling overseas, making a love offer, wanting to travel with another person, wanting to travel to see another person as well. So there might be discussion, talks, and things like that back and forth between you and another person. Likewise, they can come, they might be the one to come see you, but I feel like because we're looking at it from, I guess, from your angle, well, from my angle, it's more like left to right. So because we're looking like at the past and the future, it seems to me like you're saying you might be the one that is taking the trip, or taking the opportunity, taking the chance to go see them, okay? What I'm also feeling is the World and the Prince of Cups just indicates expansion in the types of people that you are finding yourself attracted to. Attraction to people who are a little bit more, I guess seasoned is the right word. Someone who has a lot of life experience under their belt. Someone who has a lot to teach you, a lot to offer you. And I do feel you're now at a point where you're looking for more substance, more stronger emotional, spiritual connections with another person. So already we are starting out here with the Page of Cups, which is a water sign, your energy. And we are advancing into the Knight of Cups. So I definitely feel this is a major, major emotional maturation process where you are going to have to be a little bit more selective about who you date. And you're saving yourself for someone who you feel is like very, very worthy of the admiration, the adoration, and basically the whole process of showering love and affection on another person. I definitely feel you are attracted to somebody, or at least if you are single especially, you're going to run across or cross paths with someone who's really going to it's like I feel like this sense of like being starstruck, this sense of like crossing paths with somebody who you feel is just you're very mesmerized by this person, okay? What I'm sensing as well is just sheer amount of opportunities on the dating front, on the social engagement front that's coming through for you. I feel like for a lot of you, you're admiring somebody from afar, and you are trying to make a proposal to them. You're trying to bring something to them, but you don't even know if what you have. It might be just like a crushing on somebody, or feeling very smitten by someone, but doubting whether or not they are going to reciprocate your feelings. I do feel there is a lot of reciprocity coming in for this month, especially if you're dealing with new people that you haven't dated before. I definitely feel it is a good month for you to venture out, because there will be contact. There will be a lot of positive reception with the new people coming into your life, okay? Now, in terms of your advice, we do have here the Queen of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Five of Wands. So it's what's really interesting to me is, as I was going through these four clusters, I was just like, it's not so much, money, finance related. It's all about love, communication, and things like that. And the advice card, of course, is the Queen of Pentacles, which indicates to me that right now, financially, you're in a really, really good space. And whenever cancers are not stressed out about finances, I'm just going to assume, if the finance situation doesn't show up in the first four clusters, it basically means you're sitting pretty, you're reaping the financial rewards from your hard work. Whatever work that you're putting in, whatever effort, energy, resources you're putting in, you're getting everything out. So I feel like financially for this month, things are going to be pretty smooth sailing, especially towards the tail end of the month, where you're going to have a lot of financial abundance, and it's going to really stabilize your emotional life. So whenever the money supply is dwindling, you tend to get a little bit like anxious, nervous, and you might not act at your best. But I feel like financially everything is pretty nice and trouble free for this month. And as a result of it, you're able to take some time off. You're able to really go out there and enjoy your social contacts, and spend time with people in a social setting. So it means basically you're going out. You're not worried about your finances. You're concerned about work somewhat. There's a little bit of stress in the work front. But if you're getting paid like a flat salary, I don't feel that affecting you so much. And you're even contemplating travel, which indicates to me you definitely have some type of financial abundance at this point that's allowing you to do all of that, okay? What I'm also feeling is there is a situation here. We have an earth sign in the mix, okay? And this is somebody who is very, very financially well off. This could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn that you're dealing with. There is somebody here that is basically controlling the purse strings. I feel like more of an authoritative energy with her. And this can be male or female in your life. I feel like this is somebody that you were potentially trying to win over. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, somebody who has a lot of options, somebody who has a lot of suitors, somebody I am feeling like the gatekeeper. She or he is the person in authority. So for those of you who are trying to, either appeal to like an authority figure, or trying to, get your name through the door, get your foot through the door in a big organization, I definitely feel that there's fierce competition for this one spot. And I definitely feel that you are taking a very creative approach in order to stand out from the crowd. A lot of you might be interested in a person like this who has that financial abundance, who has like a lot of suitors, who might have the world at his or her disposal. Someone who's just, there's an element of traveling, someone who travels a great deal. So I definitely feel that you do stand out in some way, but this is not someone who is easy to win over. I do feel there are many competitors in your midst, and I feel like you're putting in, you're basically entering the contest in order to win this person over, or in order to you're putting your application in order to win this position, okay? So I feel like there might be even like a managerial, supervisory position. If you're looking for a promotion and, the company has just opened up these positions that are upper management, I feel that you're putting in your lot just to see if you're going to be able to make it. And I definitely feel that it's going to pan out very, very nicely for a lot of you. So first of all, we have the Five of Wands. This indicates competition. And we do have the Fool here. So take a risk, take a chance, and I do feel you are going to be rewarded handsomely if you have faith in yourself, if you believe in your skills, your capabilities, and your assets, and everything that you're bringing to the table. So going back to the initial message where I mentioned that don't be afraid, don't sit on the sidelines nibbling at life. Really go for it. And I do feel the bigger the risk, the more the reward coming through for this month, okay? So have that sense of faith in yourself, in your skills, in your potential, in your capabilities. And I do feel that taking that leap of faith and doing things that really tugs at your heart, no matter how scary, how daunting, how overwhelming it seems, it's not going to be that bad. So I feel like you might overanalyze, overthink a situation. You might be a little bit like kind of caught up in the insecurities that you see in yourself that nobody else sees. So you might be hesitant about trying something, but I do feel by the end of the month, especially I'm inclined to say like after the 17th or so, the 17th of this month, the second half of this month, there will be opportunities. It's there for the taking. It's up for grabs. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be interested in it. It could be in work or it could be in love. It could be like supervisory positions that are recently opening up. So put in your candidacy, okay? So make sure you are going to grab life by the horns and don't hesitate and don't feel as if you're not good enough for a specific person or for a specific position. Let other people be the judge of it, okay? And if you're dealing with another person, you feel like, wow, they've got a lot to offer. I don't even know if they're interested in me. Well, let them be the judge. Just make sure that you set your intentions and go for what you want and don't hesitate, okay, Cancers? So I'm going to do your love reading and see if any of these people pop back in, because I feel like it's not so much work and finance related. It's more about, you know, new opportunities, new ways to do things, possibly relocating and things like that. But it's not heavily love. It's not heavily like career work focus. So let's just see about to the other 6 signs. I used the Joie de Vivre deck by Paulina Cassidy, and I'm traveling, so I left my other deck at home. So I'm going to use this one instead. This is the first one that I used for the love readings, and I apologize, but I'm not going to do reversals with this deck. It's easier to read without reversals, okay? So whatever comes out, I'm going to flip them over so that they're right side up, and then we'll just go into your reading. So let's see, Cancers, love and relationships. Oh, okay, good card. Picture. So one of the things that I'm getting right here already is they're basically telling you not to take situations and people for granted, okay, right off the bat. Actually, I'm going to pull out one more card for this 8 of Wands here. If you see an opportunity, if you see somebody that you like, if you see someone that really, if you're single at least, if you see someone who really, you know, strikes your fancy, really go for it, okay? So don't sit on the sidelines of life, and also don't assume that someone is like, don't assume you've got something in the bag, okay? So don't assume, oh, this person's interested in me, they're going to wait around for me. Don't assume that, because I feel like the minute you assume that person's going to be there, I feel like they've got other obligations, and they might not appreciate, you know, the fact that you're not responding, or you're taking them for granted. I feel like it's really going to hurt their ego. Okay, so that's the first thing. Let's talk about your reading here. You've got some really good cards, and you've got a lot of people, a lot of good options too. So at the center of the spread, we have here the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands usually indicates a lot of communication. In our modern age, this is going to deal with, you know, email, telephone, text messages, however you communicate with another person. So this can be via social media as well. There's a lot of it coming back and forth between you and other people. And I do feel it's going to be from you to other people and from other people to you. I don't feel it's one-on-one basis. The one-on-one type of communication usually indicates like the Two of Cups, where two people sit down at a cafe, at a place, or going on a date and having a conversation to get to know each other. This deals with like a lot of communication coming from different channels via multiple people. So you have some options here to choose from, okay? A lot of you might just be online dating, or you could just be like sought out by many, many suitors. Okay, so it's a very, very good card. And it's coupled with the Eight of Swords as well. So let me just say this. You have a lot of communications. You have a lot of information coming through. And you also have a lot of suitors coming through. And what it's making, what I feel is happening is, I see you retreating a little bit. I see you kind of like feeling a little bit overwhelmed, not sure which way to go, and not sure which offers to accept, which offers to turn down. So I see you shying away from it. When someone like seeks you out, I guess like this is more of the air sign qualities as well. Fire signs are very, very much about, they're very goal oriented. If they see somebody they like, they are very open and honest when it comes to the communication, and when it comes to stating whatever it is that they feel about the other person. So they're very verbal, and they're very straightforward and direct as a water sign. But I feel like this is more of a Cancerian and possibly Aquarius trait. You're represented by the crab, and the thing about crabs is that they tend to move sideways. If you've ever been at a beach and you've observed a crab, they tend to move sideways. And when they see the object that they like, they tend to run circles around that. And they need to make sure they check the parameters to make sure that the environment is safe before they head in, okay, for the kill, or they head in to pursue something. So I feel like that's what's happening here. Somebody is coming at you very, very aggressively, and you might take a step back, and you might not be comfortable with it, or you might feel like they might have ulterior motives. So either way, I feel like they don't have ulterior motives. I don't sense that. But I do feel that because they're coming in abundance, and they're coming in so aggressively, you might it makes you a little bit nervous, because I do feel that you and Aquarius, you tend to act a little bit more aloof when you're dealing with other people. Aquarius, that's just something that they do. But with you, it might be shyness, or it might just be, trying to play it cool, or taking a more indirect approach at getting what you want, or communicating in a way that might not be completely clear cut, or concise, in order to get to the object of your affection. So I feel like there's a roundabout way in which you're doing things. Some people can consider it like blowing hot and cold. In your mind, you feel like I'm just being cautious, but I feel like other people might think you're blowing hot and cold. So be consistent with communication. Try to narrow down your options, and at least, state very clearly. If you're not interested in somebody, you don't have to play nice. Just don't waste people's time, I feel, and just be very, very clear, succinct with communication. And I feel at the same time, if you are dealing with an air sign, so an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, I definitely feel there's this like constant blowing hot and cold back and forth between you and an air sign. If you're dealing with them, where you say one thing, they think you mean another, and then they say one thing, you think they mean something else. So I definitely feel that situation. If that seems to be the case with the air sign, I don't feel anybody's doing it on purpose. I just feel like it's different elements communicate very differently, react very differently as well. So it's just a case of misunderstanding and not really understanding where the other person's coming from, okay? On the other hand, I feel like we have an earth sign here in the past. This is somebody that is showing up from the past, okay? It's in the past position. There is somebody in your life. This is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Once again, I feel like there's an element here of this person. They are very worldly. They have been traveling a lot. They have a lot. Culturally, linguistically, ethnically, they might be very different from you. Okay, they're very established in their field. They're like mid-career professional is what I would call this. It's the Knight of Pentacles. It's somebody who is very, very slow to action, but whatever they commit themselves to, they commit fully. So they don't commit easily, but once they commit themselves, they are very reliable, and they are very caring, very nurturing, and they're willing to build a future with you. It's linked up here with the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords indicates like very good communication. There's a great energetic flow between you and this person, and I definitely feel there's an element of distance associated with the two of you. They might travel a lot, you might travel a lot, and as a result of it, there might be like very, very little time in order for you both to like get together, to have to form a stable, to build a relationship, like a stable relationship with one another. So there's some difficulties here, and it has been a situation in the past where there might have been difficulties, but I definitely feel that this is somebody that you really enjoy talking to, and you have a great deal of things in common, and you have like a very good intellectual rapport as well. What I'm feeling with this person is that there's some communication coming through from them. They might be in the area and they might want to see you. There's some type of a solid offer coming through, like an offer on the material level, you know, like going on a physical date, or getting together, and there's something concrete here that's coming into the picture. What I'm also feeling is this person, I feel like, likes you quite a bit, okay? We do have the victory card associated with it as well. So this is somebody that they might be in and out of the picture because of circumstances, not because of their feelings for you. But I definitely feel like they're solid, they're a solid character, and they do like you quite a bit. What's coming in the future, though? We do have here the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a fire sign. So this is movement. This indicates travel, movement, and things like that. On the mundane level, it can represent a person, a fire sign, Taurus. I'm sorry, not Taurus. Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, and this is somebody who is quite aggressive with their communication. They're very straightforward. What you see is pretty much what you get. They're very courageous, and they also travel quite a bit too. This is someone who has trouble sitting still, staying in one place. They have a very low boredom threshold as well. They're linked up with the Nine of Wands. There is a little bit of a fear of commitment with this person, mainly because their lifestyle is very, very, independent, and they don't like to travel with a lot of emotional baggage. And it's hard to put this person into a framework where they are going to either fit the mold of a relationship partner. They don't really like labels, and they might not be in a position where they will stay around long enough for a relationship. I feel like commitment phobic energy with this fire sign, okay? Not only because they're a fire sign, but because I feel like there might have been things in their past that they are escaping from, and they might have recently left a relationship, and now they are trying to play the field, not in a way where they're deceptive. I feel like they're trying to be a little bit more cautious. They're trying to take their time to get to know someone very, very well before they jump into a relationship. What I'm also sensing as well is I feel that there is a fire sign that you've been dealing with, okay? So this is, once again, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. I feel their energy coming in very, very heavily for this month. And what I'm sensing is they want to see you. For some reason, they might have been out of the picture in the recent past. They're like out of the picture. They're making a comeback into your life sometime for this month. And the communication between the two of you, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of passion. So I feel that, but at the same time, there's a lot of fearfulness from your end, okay? You don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle this situation. It's highly volatile. It's highly like, I feel it being highly volatile. I feel like there is a lot of hesitation on your end about what to do. So I feel like you're possibly on the defense against this person. They might be coming back from the past. You might have had squabbles in the past. You might not have seen eye to eye on many of life's decisions and choices. And I feel like they're making a comeback. There's going to be communication. They might communicate with you that they want to see you, or they might want you to come see them. But I feel like it's not a harmonious, because you're a water sign, they're a fire sign. It's not a harmonious union. I do feel they have a good heart and they mean well. And they're very brave, courageous, and you like them a lot, mainly because, like the opposites attract that type of an energy where you attract one another. So there's great attraction, there's great passion. But I feel like there's something here where there's something in this situation where you're feeling fearful about re-engaging, and you feel like they wear their heart on their sleeve. So you feel like no matter what happens, this is going to, if you agree to it, it's going to lead to a serious relationship. So I feel like you're not really sure what you want to do, and you're taking a step back as well. Okay, so there's a lot of communication. A lot of you might have recently gotten out of relationship with an earth sign transitioning to a fire sign, and all of a sudden you're getting communication from both, and you're just inundated with like, what do I do now? And you might take a step back. You might just remove yourself from a situation. You might not respond altogether. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, it's a whole process about maturation. So if you feel like, I really like this fire sign, but I don't know how we're going to build a future together, it is really important for you to, put other people's needs first, which is to clearly explain the circumstance, to clearly explain your feelings for them, and express your concerns to them as well. So I feel like sometimes you might like somebody and we might selfishly keep them for our own purposes, and we know we can't give them what they want, okay? I feel like you've got two very, very solid options on the table, the earth sign and the fire sign, and you're kind of like caught in the middle and you're not really sure what to do. A lot of you are leaning towards this earth sign. A lot of you feel that there can be a victory, which indicates, a solid, stable relationship that can be had here. Whereas the fire sign's a little bit aggressive, and the chemistry is very exciting, but you're not sure if it's going to go anywhere. And as a result of it, you might be letting them go, okay? And I feel like if you can't give them what they deserve or what you feel they want, it's really important to verbalize that, okay? So let's look at the crowning energy. The crowning energy is usually, the things that are weighing on your mind, the things that are affecting your decisions. We do have the Emperor. So the Emperor came out first, and then I pulled out the World card to clarify. So we do have the Emperor. So this is coming in as a universal like warning or a universal blockage, okay? One of the things that you are really, really concerned about is your public image, okay? So the Emperor is a person in a position of authority. He makes the hard decisions, okay? This is somebody who thinks with their head. They're very logical, very rational. However, when they make decisions, they also take into account the human relationships. They also take into account, the whole spiel about, actions and consequences. And they always try to do the right thing. And they always try to strive for the best outcome for everybody involved. Not just the best outcome for themselves, but, as a ruler, you have to rule over many, many subjects, and you have to keep your subjects happy. So in this situation, it's urging you, or you're thinking about, what is the fair thing to do for everybody involved? Not just me, not just to gratify my ego, but what's the best thing for me to do? And one of the things that's coming through here is the Wheel of Fortune, which is the Wheels of Destiny, which is fate. And it deals heavily with karma. It deals with actions and consequences. And I feel like a lot of the times when it comes to like, heavy karmic relationships, they're not easy to extract ourselves from. And if you're choosing between two people that could potentially serve, that you feel you are heavily connected to, I do sense that there is a sense of karma at work where the decisions are rarely simple. They're not always easy. They're not always clear cut. So you are going to have to dig deep and really, embody the energy of the Emperor, where he makes the difficult decisions. But in the end, his decisions are going to help more people than it hurts people. So just keep that in mind and try to be, righteous, try to do things that are, that embody this energy, okay? So the foundation here is the situation on which this whole thing is built. This whole love dilemma triangle possibly is built. First of all, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is a situation where I feel for a lot of you, you have ice. I saw you like moving around, constantly on the go. Like traveling a lot, making a lot of connections, and feeling very, very tired. Your soul was very tired from all the work, all the traveling, all the worryings about your finances. And I feel like at this point, you're in a very good position financially. And I feel like in the past, you were struggling to get yourself to this point. And whenever we have financial worries weighing over our heads, we don't always make the right decisions. And what I mean by that is I feel almost like this sense of the ego is greatly tied up with your financial station. So, for example, if you made a lot of money, if you start making a lot of money, I feel like you might spend it frivolously. You might seek a different type of a relationship partner. You might not even want a relationship partner. You might seek more fun, more excitement. You might be inclined to do reckless things in relationships because you feel like, well, my lifestyle, my income, I can afford it, so I'm gonna take all these risks. And then when your financial situation starts to flounder, or it starts to, when you feel like you're in a deficit, I feel like that's when you start to think about, who has been in my life and who has been like, the person that has always been there for me, who has been really stable in my life, who was the one person that I could always count on. And then you miss that person and you start to like value the simple things in life. You start to also value certain things in a person that you feel, such as like reliability, such as dependability, and such as someone who doesn't really care about status, who loves you unconditionally. So I hope that makes sense. That was a very poor way of explaining it, but I feel like the choices that you make in relationship partners is dependent upon your financial standing. That's what I feel. So if that sounds like it resonates with you, you want to really think about, like how are your choices different when you make a lot of money versus how your choices are different when you don't have a lot of money, and what kind of partner you want. Do you want the ones that are going to be there for you through thick and thin, because then you might have to re-examine your choices? Or do you want somebody who likes the high life, the good life, but they might not stay around when you hit financial difficulties, okay? So just something to think about, Cancers. It's linked up here with the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity that is given to you, okay? And it's a situation that can be built upon. It is a situation that has a lot of potential, a lot of promise. And it has all the preconditions for a very, very stable relationship. So here's what I'm feeling. Um, I feel like this is coming in for you. There is an offer from the universe in terms of a very, very stable romantic partner who really, really cares about you, who really adores you. And I feel like this is a situation that is handed out to you. But a lot of you are turning your back on it, okay? A lot of you might be taking it for granted. And I feel like there's this earth sign. I feel like it's the earth sign that really, really cares about you. And there's a victory here, which means that this person, this person cares about you. This person really likes you. And I'm feeling like you might take this person for granted and you might think that they're going to be around forever. And as a result of it, you might have waited too long to show them how you feel. You might have waited too long. They might have offered something to you, like they might have expressed how they felt about you. And you've taken a step back. You were trying to sort out your feelings. You were trying to sort out the situation. And you felt that, they were going to be around. So you could take a little bit longer dithering, or at least trying to sort out your emotions. And I feel like while you were turning your back on this, while you were off on your own, thinking about things and figuring out how you're gonna, whether or not you're gonna go with this person, I feel like they might have gone off with somebody else. So there's like a little bit of that misconnection coming through because you took a little bit too much time to make a decision, okay? What I'm also feeling is, it's basically telling me you are out looking for others of you. You might be out looking for excitement, okay? Excitement. And you're turning your back on a situation where that could be very long lasting, very, very fulfilling for you. And it's because it's sort of like that expression where, you were out there trying to find, um, trying to increase your dating life, enhance your dating life, enhance your dating circle, and you were going with options that were pretty much dead ends. You were seeking the people that rushes into your life, but they pretty much burn out, they fizzle out, rather than looking for the one. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But I feel like a lot of you are ready, but you're sending out mixed signals on the dating front. Or you tell yourself that you're ready, you're trying to find the one, but when the one comes knocking, you're turning your back. So just be very, very mindful about this situation, okay? For those of you in stable relationships, I feel like finances has been a major, major issue in your relationships in the past. Now that you're financially, you're very stable. I feel like you might not have the time to adequately spend on your partner. You might not have, the enough time in the day to get together to really like solidify or to come reunite or to come together as a couple. So I feel like both parties are very, very busy. There's very little time in between your busy schedules to coordinate meetings, to coordinate dates. So it's really important to take time away from work and to really enjoy each other's presence, because it seems almost like two people are leading separate lives, okay? It's like circumstances will basically drive you apart. So you have to find ways to make things work and to come together whenever you get a chance. So just don't neglect the relationship because of work. Don't neglect the relationship because you feel like you are trying to get, where you are to this position of power, status, and to enhance your public image. So don't neglect the relationship as a result of it, okay? So I do see that coming in, especially for those of you in stable relationships or who are married. What I'm also feeling as well is a lot of you might be just transitioning, might have multiple options on the go, and you're getting a lot of messages from both sides, and you might be torn between two people. That's what I'm feeling. And I would say that the earth sign, I feel like it is a very, very solid choice. It is somebody that will be around for quite some time. The fire sign, very, very exciting, very passionate, but I do sense that they like you too. I do feel that, but in terms of like true harmony, reciprocity, and things like that in a relationship, as it plays out, I feel that you don't have enough in common in order to sustain this relationship, okay? So what I feel here is this is a month about actions and consequences. It's a very pivotal month for a lot of you. And I felt the energy coming through for Pisces, especially Pisces. Pisces had a little bit of a difficult reading, and Scorpio as well. Scorpio wasn't difficult, but I feel like a lot of choices that needs to be made in their reading. So I feel like this is a very pivotal month, possibly for all water signs, mainly because we are transitioning into, the sign of Leo, which deals with the ego, and it's less about other people. It's more about, what can I get out of this situation? How can I gratify myself? So it's a more ego-driven type of energy. And as a result of it, you might be torn into different directions. What does my head want versus what does my heart want? So as a result of it, I'm just going to leave it at that and just say that you have some important decisions that need to be made in your romance sector. And a lot of you are hesitating. You feel as if you can buy time. You feel as if you don't have all the information yet. But I feel that you are just, you have an aversion to making a clear-cut decision. I don't feel that you're lacking information in any way. And you are a very intuitive sign, so you know what you want and you know what you don't want. So it's not a matter of, finding out more information before you make up your mind. It's more about, I feel like you're procrastinating on making this decision because you're torn in two very, very different directions. So I feel like it's an inner conflict in your own psyche, in your own personal life that might be playing out in the choice of partners that you are finding yourselves attracted to. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to see if there is anything else that comes through. And I feel like I'm just going to say this. sometimes, you know, inaction is as bad as making the wrong choice. So I feel like if this sounds familiar to you, if in the past you have liked somebody and you have waited a little bit too long to make a move, and then you feel that, you know, you might have found out that they have moved on with somebody else, and you tell yourself, I will never ever, I feel horrible, and I feel like, you know, I don't want to deal with that sense of disappointment again. So this time you might not make a move because you feel like, I don't want the same thing from the past to repeat. I feel that this is a good month for you to take a risk, make a choice, make a decision, and to stick with that decision. It's all about being decisive, being very, very clear about what we value in life, and making the difficult choice to achieve the optimal outcome for everybody involved. Okay, so actions, consequences, making a decision, and don't dilly-dally on this decision. All right, so Cancers, I hope you have a wonderful month. I'm going to be back in the mid-month reading, so hopefully to flush out this situation, and I hope that it would be cleared up by then. Okay, so if you like a private reading, please visit my website where you can book an appointment for yourself. I also added a donation button, so if the reading has been helpful for you, I would appreciate it if you like, share, subscribe as well. And I do have a donation button if it resonates with you, so feel free to use that. I would really appreciate it. Okay, I'll be back for the mid-month reading, and I hope by then, honestly, that the energy would clear up and that you can make a decision between these two suitors. All right, I wish you all the best and take care of yourself. I'll be back on the 15th. Bye bye.